back with the battle for Tres Riveras. And this could be a key battle because they have a Lake Navy stationed there at the old retreat spot. We'll find out what that is real quick. St. John or St. Jean. There you go. So if the Colonial Army of the North loses, the trap has been set and they have no retreat route. So there you go. The rivers are all blocked, and the yeah, I guess it's mostly a river route out of Fort Riveras. Fort on the rivers. So there you go. All the retreat routes are taken, and this is the tail of the tape. And the key thing in this game, you know, we're learning, is to have your armies able to drop these garrison counters. So if you have a certain unit here and some spots, you just go ahead and drop them on in and leave like a little web. Drop a garrison. So basically what those garrison counters are good for is trapping armies. Big note in this game, garrison counters are great for trapping armies. They're really good for nothing else. They should kind of give you that strategy in the rules. And another thing we have a question on about the rules, but we're both kind of moot on it. And I'm sure in this position, or in this situation, my opponent would rather not have the rule interpreted the way we do, but we include Dearborn. It says you're going to have another general's rank, which is fine, but he's only a little tactical leader, so we'll put him in there, and it comes out to this. British are attacking with 17 strength points versus 11. All right, so 1 and 2 attack, which is bad odds. And here's their gyro modifiers as follows. I guess it'd be a total of +2. So let me get down here for a +2 total. Here we go here. 1 for Gates. Green's a better tactical general at A. Well, I think he gets a +3. I'm shorting this up one. So yeah, it's a +3 on that one there. So he'll be getting a +3. Added that out wrong. So that's 4. They got a 5. Oop, would be helpful 5. Early in the morning. So anyway, +5. But when it comes time for their table or column, they go down 2. So even though we have, we don't even have more strength points. So instead of on the 11 column, we'll be going down here to the petite. That hurts. All right, this has been done, but we have to look and see what the results of the die rolls are. Always comes down to the die roll, but something tells me these are bad, dark days for the colonies. We'll be back. Everybody's out of cards, and these are the die rolls. There you go. Stumbling and bumbling on that chance to really nail it down, but they still might get it. So let's add these on up and see what happens when the smoke is cleared. So we got a 7 +5 would be a 12, I'm thinking. I was absent the day they taught math, but let me see here. And we got a 3 +2, so we'll give them a big 5, and that's it. But the key will be where they're at on their respective combat tables. We'll start with the British under the 17 column. Under the 5. Oof, that was bad. That was bad. If we 17 under 5 is a 1 +2 stars. We'll see if we can beat that with a colonial roll of 12 under the, let me see, they had the 11 table. You go down 2, 1, 2, and they will go down to 12. That's a 1, but that still loses. 12 under the 1. There you go. So they had a 1, and they had a, what was that again? A 5 under the 17. Yep, they beat me by 2 stars. So we'll both take a hit loss, and Gates will have to surrender. We got to roll to see if the procedure is, but yeah, Army of the North caught up in it and trapped. And this is the first scenario. This is the first surrender of the game. It's a British major victory. So we'll look at all the consequences on that. Be right back. If any leader is forced to surrender or his force is completely destroyed, we had to surrender. Player rolls with D6. If the result is 1, the leader is not exchanged, and he
is permanently removed from the game. So we got to roll. And if he gets a 1, an anonymous leader from the blah 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 blah, place them in the pool for the respective side. From the that's what happens if he's removed from the game. Follow the procedure below. 2 to 6. We'll be back for the vassal die roll for the leader. Results are double 5s on the leaders. And it says here in the rules. Oh. On a result of 2 to 6, follow the procedure. So I guess the colonial leaders are placed in the colonial leader pool. That'll work. Alright. It's captured. He can never be exchanged. Wow, he got that one. Don't let him get captured. We'll be right back.
And there we are. Well, we skipped one or dodged one there, but
We did lose 11 strength points in that surrender. Man, would that be a game changer? Like I was stated earlier, the British took a big hit on their winter attrition, but this might have just tipped the balance. Now we have to see what goes on with a major victory under the rules. We'll be right back.
Yep, I think that pretty well sums it all up right there. Oh, we'll be back.
So with that win,
Political will marker up 2 for the British, and the congressional political will has suffered 2 steps in the negative direction. We have put a major victory marker on the turn record track, and if he gets another one, he wins the game.
it's as simple as that. So there you go. The old my opponent has snatched victory from the jaws of defeat twice now,
And we have been teetering on that 1 political will marker, but he's come back.
and he lost 1 strength point in that battle up his little
Wolf, or his army of the north up there, had 3 British regulars. They suffered 1 loss, but I suffered 11 strength points. And all my generals will come back next turn or next action pulse.
I guess they got exchanged. We had a little bit of our prisoner exchange is what they called it, and we rolled our dice. And on a roll of 1, there was no exchange, but they both rolled 2 5s, so they were able to be put into the leader box till next turn. Now, if Washington gets captured during a surrender, they don't a chance to exchange him. His ass is probably heading over to England for execution or a trial or something. You never know. But yeah, they don't. There's no chance for Washington to come back. They aren't that dumb, I guess. So that is it. You don't want Washington to get caught up in it.
We did exchange him, though. He's over there. Well, it's a whole new game. Now, the only thing going on my side is in the springtime, I get what's called colonial levies, where I'll be able to fill up the ranks. You know, it's my country, my locals, their country's over there. It takes them a while. Plus, they got things going on all over the world. So the winter of 1776-77, I think, really decimated his army. He lost 13 strength points, but the loss of 11 might have evened it up or even tipped the scales. But like I said, I will be able to renew in the spring, and whenever there's any, we're all busy up here in the Northeast, but whenever any British forces appear down here, we still have militia. Well, he has his loyalists he can bring on into, but we haven't tapped that source yet. The game hasn't gotten that far. Now, another big thing about this game that we were talking about, me and my opponent, is the Caribbean aspect. I've built that into the game, where the game can be win or lost down here, but we have to have, I think, we still haven't had the Native American card come on in yet, or if I can get me a major victory, the French come on in. So we got a long ways to go, having a great time at this game. Taking up some time, but we only get maybe about 2 or 3 moves in. Yeah, it used to be a day, but I'm back at work now, so it'll be a little bit slower. We're having a great time at it, having a good time. Other than that, would love to get back to my, let's see here, what do you call it? My old Civil War game, but we have not had a chance to brainstorm on this, and ideas are all wrote down. We got them all ready to go, but yeah, it's been a while. We got all kinds of things to do. Too many irons in the fire, and especially now that I'm back to work. But we'll be back. War for America, having a great time. All right, it is time for the colonial response, my response to the massive, or rather major, a victory. I lost 10 plus strike points in that last battle.
And that is definitely going to change the game. I've been kind of busy. It's summertime. Weather's nice, and it has been the outdoor time of year. But I've been studying this map a little bit and trying to figure out, how I could scramble to come back. We're outnumbered.
He's got that northeast part of the map pretty much solidified. Now we're on our heels. We got to gather forces. Strike points levies won't be raised till the spring. It's going on the fall, so we got to wait till we go through the winter. We got to get all of our units
into sanctuaries. We'll start doing that in this turn. We don't want to be caught with our pants down like I did that last turn. Now I think the British would want to do the same thing. We both lost about 10 strike points during that first winter attrition. You get a couple mulligans during the first two turns of the game. I think 1775 and 1776. But when I hit in 1777, we tried getting shelter, but man, it was few and far between, and that's where those magazines really come in handy. We didn't build magazines, so we got some good magazine spots here that were kind of holding off on strong points. But it's up to the colonials to start gathering up some reinforcements. We got some leaders that were exchanged from our major loss to the British. We could use those around here because I need to gather up some forces and bring them up north. The main theater operations has been up here. There's victory points to be had by the British player by controlling colonies, but mostly he's been on the defensive and trying to just cover his ass with me trying to get his political will down to 0. We had it down to 1, but boy, he keeps on finding a way to come back. Let me see what I'm going to do with my turn. You're up to date, and we'll be back.
All right, we got a rule question brought up by my opponent, and I think he's got a legitimate case, and we've kind of been dodging around it all game. We got to find out how many militia you can have in Maine. Now, Maine isn't marked as a 13. I guess it's not a colony by then. But it says here in regions, all red spaces. There are no red spaces in Maine outside of 13 colonies and the Caribbean for the colonies to control Canada, blah, blah, blah. It's fine, but middle states, we don't see Maine anywhere. We're looking for militia maximums. And I think right now, let me pause this. Ooh, Washington's army's got 6. There's 7 there. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I have over on 10 militias in Maine. I don't. He's bringing up the point that he don't think I should have any, and I have to maybe agree with him. So we're deciding now what we need to do. That'd really wear me on down. But yeah, Maine. You can see Maine is. Oops, sorry about that. You can see Maine is actually printed right here. There you go. Oh, if I can find out where I'm at. Sorry. And these are all white. White are the colonies. So this is obviously, wasn't a colony by then. So how many militias can be up there? We're thinking 0. And that cut me out of a bunch of militias. But it is what it is. We'll be back with the interpretation of the rule. We'll be back. All right. Well, this might be the key to it right here. And this is important concepts. Militia units can leave their colony because nobody was ever created in Maine. Maine can't create it their own. All right, they can leave their colony, which is all that they did. They were up there in Maine, but can never leave their region. So I think we're good. I'm going to point that on out. I think that is good. So here's what I'm saying. Ooh, these militia units were never created in Maine because you can't create units in Maine. But as you can see, this is still part of the region. So they're good there. We're still good. You could still have militia units in that region. Now, don't have no militia maximums listed for Maine. So we'll look underneath that and see if there's a certain maximum for regions. Militia maximums, New England 22. So here you go. But it is listed as Massachusetts. That might be how they can be raised. So we'll see. All right, New Hampshire. We do go by these. If you're in the colony, though, you have to go by these. But I think Maine's a free spot, so we're going to keep them there. Let me run that past my opponent.
and see if he agrees. That'll be my side of the argument. We'll be back. All right. Well, we've also kind of agreed on, we're going back and forth here, that the militia maximums, and this is key right here, portion, militia he can deploy in accordance with the rule. So there you go. Militia maximums are the amount you can deploy. And the say if you get 6, you roll a dice, so that's the maximums are the most you can get. Most of the times you don't get that 6, but that's the maximum you can get. So anyway, we're on that. We're going to move on now. I'm going to activate Washington. Whether I attack the Royal Army at Norwich or do something else with them, we'll see. Or get my generals on the board. I still have some time with Washington, probably about a turn or two, but I got to worry about shelter. Yeah, we need to maybe get Washington down to Portsmouth now before we get blocked. Or do we grab 4 strength points and go for Norwich? That'd be the thing to do. Let me see, I'll be right back. Washington gets a 5. You need a 6 or less. If you got a 6, you'd have to roll. He gets a chance to roll again. He will move. We're on a trail this way, though. That's really going to kill. Bad way to get to old Putnam. I want to move instead of muster. So we'll move 1, 2. We'll grab Putnam. We got to grab all 4 to give us, so we're going to leave our magazine alone. We'll go 1, 2 to Fort Halifax. Grab all these, and then we'll go 3, 4 to Norwich. And we're coming back after our loss. That'll knock his political real well down, and everything else will give us a nice little strong point there. We have 20 strength points, I believe, going against his 10 for the Royal Army. That'll give me a 2 to 1. We'll see if my numbers are right. And if that move was legal, we'll be back. Here at Norwich, we got a little battle sack marker. And my supply line is the magazine. 2 movement points away. I get up to 6 movement points, but that is about it. So, well, unfortunately for me, I had to leave it ungarrisoned to get my good ratio in battle. We'll see if that comes back to haunt me right now. We get that spot in Norwich, we ain't got to worry about it because it's a key spot. So we can hunker down there for the winter too, maybe. We will see, but that is it. Now the key will be if Howell wants to stay or leave. As a matter of fact, we still got the debate going on about the militias, but I'm pretty sure he's the one that brought it up about the maximums being only when you initially create. And I think other than that, you're good to go. But yeah, we've come to the conclusion that there really is no maximum number of militias you can have in a colony. There is the amount of maximums you can create. That was what this chart here is. That's the way we're interpreting it. All right, militia maximums. So in Massachusetts, you can have 6 when you come down here and roll the dice. There you go. That's the amount you can have. So yeah, your maximums are the number that you can max out on if this die roll here lets you get. If you get a 4 or 6, it's full strength points. You know, half means half of this number here. So that's the way we are interpreting it. We'll be back. All right, we're back. And I've already got the battle set up, but we are waiting for more moves by my opponent to see if he wants to retreat or fight. Now, I don't have any battle cards left, and I believe maybe I have to look at the vassal mod. He might have 1. So we'll see what the result of that is, but we're kind of in hold mode here. When we come back, it'll be, I got the 2 to 1 threshold, so I think that's what the delay will be, whether he wants to retreat or stay and fight. And this will be for Norwich, so if he leaves, that goes down at 1, and mine goes up 1. I believe it's just 1, it's not 2, but he will not capture the colony. That captured colony mark will be removed. And I'll have a nice little spot in there. And the thing of it is, we're trying to get ready for winter. But in this game, you can only move one stack at a time. So he's got like 2 turns to get ready for winter, 2 stacks to move. You know, it is what it is in this game. And if you don't prepare beforehand, it'll bite you in the butt, especially in wintertime. We'll be back waiting for the house decision. All right, they are have an urgent appointment elsewhere, and he made it with a 2. I didn't know he had a 4. Ooh, huh. Okay, well he made it with a 2, and we will find out his retreat path in a second.
All right, British will head down the trail to the obvious choice of Fort Ticonderoga, leaving Norwich in sole possession of Washington. That'll be my supply source, and also with that, the political will of the British goes back down to 2, and my political will, Congress likes that, back up to 1. So that's the best I think we can make out of that deal. Whew! After that major victory, and that thing stays on the marker, we need to get another one. We can't leave garrison units, so that is a major advantage to the British player. Wow. That's the best I can do with that turn. And with that, that'll take care of we got a lot of action pulses left in this action cycle. We'll be rolling for impulse and having a great day. It's beautiful out there. I should be fishing, but I'm kind of worn out from things we were doing all weekend. Neighbors had a little party, invited us over for some barbecue, and got the house lawns looking like a golf course. Everything's blooming. It's beautiful outside, but I had enough. I worked in it all last week, so it's nice to be inside and throttle back a little bit. We'll be back with some more War for America. Got some house cleaning to do here, and we gotta wait for some vlogs. We'll be back. All right, so there you go. He retreated on back to Ticonderoga. Unfortunately for me, I think that used up all my movement points. Yeah, we left from Penobscot, picked up Schuyler and his militias. And we went on into Norwich, so we got Norwich back. Norwich has been a town that's changed hands 3 or 4 times in this game. Waiting on the initiative die roll. Having a great time on a nice throttle back Sunday, watching the Masters. Some good YouTube videos. All the chores are done. Yards look like a golf course, man. I like getting my lawns looking good. And partied with the neighbors. I got some new neighbors moved in and did some barbecuing, getting to know them, and got more barbecuing going on today. Oh, hope everyone's having a good time out there. All good GWG land. We'll be back. Initiative die roll goes to the British. Say we'll get to move first. Move their marker on up. And this is the way you're supposed to do it, I think, in the rules. Move their marker up first. British. Oh, I guess they kept the initiative. All right, well, there you go. We are there, and now we're in wait mode. Hold mode until we get a vlog. We'll be back. All right, then, with his activation, the British tried to activate Fraser. He was at a pub or something. It wasn't fully into it. I rolled a 6. He needed a 5 or less. So that means he can only move 2 strength points, and he moved 1. Picked up some units from Albany, and now he is in Johnstown with 1, 2, 3, 4 strength points. It looks to me like he's heading for Fort Stanwix and my 2 strength points in a magazine. And I think if he captures that, he'll capture New York as a colony. So he gave up New Hampshire, but he'll gain New York, and he'll get another political will marker movement up in the right spot, and my political will marker will move down. All right, well, it is what it is. He showed his hands, and now we know he's coming, because he didn't get a full activation, but that'll be it. Didn't do anything up here. Going for a capture of a colony. All right, well, there you go. It is my activation now. Let me see what we want to do. We want to keep on moving with Washington, get those generals back on the board. Another action pulse. So when it's fall, we gotta get ready for winter. Make sure everybody's in the right spots. Have a magazine here. It's unprotected, and this one here looks like it's getting ready to fall. But we got strength points here. We need to corral up.
But before this spring, or during the spring coming on up, and before he gets any more reinforcements, I'll get to bring in my levies during the spring, so we might get a significant edge and strength points on the board. And we also got to remember the Colonials can only have a maximum of 40. We're nowhere near that in this game. But I think in my learn through game, before I played my opponent, we had to eliminate some units because I had like 45. That was a good game. I wonder how that game would have went. But anyway, we're back at it. Let me see what I want to do. We'll be back. All right, we got groceries to unload, but before we do, I want to make sure it's clear on this militia maximums chart. So here's what we interpreted and came to the conclusion as. You can have as many militias as you want in each region. During your mustering, when you roll for your militia maximums on your mustering chart, this is the amount of maxims you can get during this procedure. Alrighty, and there you go. And the reason Maine doesn't have any is because it isn't a colony. But the ones that are raised in this region can go into Maine. So there you go. Have as many militias as you want. You can only have a maximum when it comes to mustering. And there's certain triggers. Now that this went into, now that this is my control, when the British come back in there again, we can muster. You can muster anytime that you control it. And the British come on in, you can raise the militias again. So we're going to call that a video. We'll clear that. We'll make that a little bit clearer as it comes on. We got stuff to do. And that'll be it for this session of War for America. We'll be back with more turns.